A revised account. Eleanor Vance never imagined that accepting an invitation to a wedding in Morocco would change her life forever. At 52, this retired elementary school teacher from Seattle, Washington, had devoted 3 decades to nurturing young minds, sacrificing her own dreams of traveling the world. Her divorce from Frank, a meticulous corporate lawyer, had been finalized 2 years ago, finally freeing her to explore destinations she'd only ever seen in magazines. "I finally have the chance to live for myself," were the words Eleanor constantly repeated. She kept the house in Mercer Island and a significant retirement fund. The invitation arrived via Layla, a seemingly vibrant 28-year-old Moroccan woman Eleanor met 3 months earlier in a Facebook group called American Women Exploring North Africa. Layla introduced herself as a charismatic tour operator in Marrakesh, specializing in showing the authentic side of Morocco. Her profile photos showed a beautiful, smiling young woman posing with happy tourists. "My dear Eleanor," Layla wrote in near-perfect English, "I invite you to something truly special." The invitation was for her cousin Tariq's wedding in the desert town of Rassani, a traditional 3-day Berber celebration. "You will experience genuine Moroccan culture," Layla promised, assuring Eleanor she would be treated like family. Layla had thoroughly researched Eleanor's social media. She knew about her interest in history, her passion for photography, and her recent, painful separation. "After everything you've been through, you deserve a magical trip," she wrote. Eleanor, who had casually mentioned feeling lost after her divorce, found an attentive, empathetic confidant in Layla. "The desert sands heal broken hearts," Layla would say with a lyrical quality that deeply touched Eleanor. Their conversations quickly moved from travel tips to deep, personal intimacies. Layla seemed genuinely interested in Eleanor's life, her teaching career, her adult children, Ethan and Chloe, and especially her financial settlement. "You are a strong woman," she praised. "You deserve all the good things in life." Layla included all the reassuring details a cautious person needed. The round-trip flight from Seattle would be paid for by the groom's family, a local custom. Eleanor would stay at the family home in Rassani, promising an authentic experience no resort could match. "You will be my American sister," Layla vowed. Eleanor researched tours and consulted her doctor. Everything seemed legitimate. 3 days before her flight, Layla sent an urgent, apologetic message. The wedding, she explained, had been abruptly moved to a smaller, more remote village called Tingher, 90 miles northwest of Rassani. "It will be even more authentic," she assured her. Eleanor, her bags packed, saw no issue. She messaged her son, Ethan, a photo of her passport. "Mom's finally going on her dream trip. Don't worry if you don't hear from me for a week. I'm going off-grid." On the morning of the flight, April 12th, Eleanor posted a final selfie from the departure gate at Seattle-Tacoma Airport. "Finally, Morocco, here I come." This photo, she couldn't know, would be one of the last images her friends would see of her smiling for the next few months. And at that very moment, Layla was messaging his accomplices, "The American is in the air. Proceed to extraction plan." Arrival and the disorienting reality. Delta Flight DL-216 landed at Casablanca's Mohammed V International Airport at 3:15 p.m. After clearing customs, Eleanor searched the crowded hall. After 20 anxious minutes, she grew concerned. She called Layla's number. It went straight to voicemail. A young man, perhaps 25, approached, speaking fluent English. He introduced himself as Kareem, Layla's cousin. Layla had to rush to the hospital. He explained, his face etched with worry. "Her mother became very ill. She sent me to pick you up." Eleanor felt genuine sympathy. Kareem knew details only Layla would know. Her retirement, the divorce, her love for photography. "Layla tells me everything about her American sister," he said with a warm smile. Kareem explained they would drive straight to Tingher, promising interesting stops. "You will see the real Morocco," he echoed. During the first 2 hours, Kareem was the perfect guide. But slowly, his questions grew more intrusive. He wanted to know about her retirement income. "How much exactly does a retired American teacher earn?" and especially about her children. Do they visit often? Do they know precisely where you are? During a dinner stop in Beni Mellal, Kareem insisted on paying for everything. You are our honored guest. But then, casually, he asked, did you bring enough cash for the family gifts? American guests always bring nice gifts. Eleanor mentioned she had brought $5,000 in cash for gifts and spending. It was at dinner that she noticed the first cracks. Kareem briefly confused details of Layla's mother's illness. When Eleanor, the former nurse, asked which hospital, Kareem hesitated before naming a major medical center in Marrakesh. Later, in the car, she overheard Kareem speaking urgently and tensely on the phone in rapid Arabic. The second half of the trip was different. Kareem was withdrawn. The car turned onto a minor road, not on the map. He claimed it was a shortcut. Around 10:30 p.m., they arrived at what Kareem called Tingher, but the town was unrecognizable. There were no ancient buildings, only simple concrete houses. This is the newer, private part of town, Kareem explained dismissively. The house was a modest two-story building. Waiting at the gate were two older women in dark robes, Aunt Aisha and Aunt Khadija, who spoke only Arabic. Where is Layla? Eleanor asked, her alarm intensifying. She will come tomorrow morning, Kareem replied. Now, you need to rest. The room was small, with a single window covered by a sturdy metal grate. For your safety, Kareem said. When he said goodbye, he promised to return with Layla in the morning. Sleep well, Eleanor. Tomorrow the Real adventure begins. His tone was a warning. Alone, Eleanor tried Layla's number. There was no cell service. The promised Wi-Fi didn't work. Around midnight, she heard the front door slam and a car speed away. She was left alone with two strangers in an unknown location, with no connection to the outside world. What have I done? She whispered, the cold dread of true fear finally settling in. The revelation and the price. The next morning, the third day, brought only confusion. Aisha brought her tea, but when Eleanor asked for Layla, the woman only shook her head. Kareem finally appeared, his warmth gone. Layla is still at the hospital, he said quickly, avoiding eye contact. The wedding, he now stated, was indefinitely postponed. But you must stay, he insisted. Leaving would be a great insult to the family. When Eleanor suggested returning to Casablanca to wait in a hotel, Kareem became visibly agitated. No, they have prepared so much. You will see the local sights today. During a tour of a nearby town, Eleanor realized they weren't in Tingher. Kareem rushed her through sights, preventing her from talking to others. His questions became more precise. The limits on her credit cards, the exact value of her Seattle house. Layla wants to know, he explained. That night, Eleanor overheard one of the women refer to her in Arabic as the rich American. She wasn't a guest. She was something else entirely. She realized she had been perfectly profiled, lonely, financially stable, cut off from immediate family, and desperate for a new chapter. The fourth day brought the full, cold knowledge of her predicament. Kareem came to her room. Layla does not exist. I am Layla. I was the one who wrote to you. What do you want? She managed to gasp. At first, just your money, he admitted. But then, other plans came along. There are wealthy men here who have special desires. They pay very well for American women, especially older ones no one will miss. You want to sell me? Sell is an ugly word, Kareem replied calmly. You will have a new life with a rich man who will care for you. I want to go home now. I'm an American citizen. Your rights don't matter here, Eleanor, he said, his eyes devoid of emotion. And no one knows where you are. He announced that a man named Mr. Al-Mansour would arrive that afternoon to see her. He is looking for a companion. At 3:30 p.m., Al-Mansour, a heavy-set man in his 60s, arrived. He inspected her like merchandise. You are older than I expected, he said bluntly. But American women age well. She is very obedient, Kareem lied. A retired teacher. She is educated. How much? Al-Mansour asked Kareem in English. 15,000. She is educated. 12,000. Final. Kareem nodded. They had negotiated her price, $12,000. I will return tomorrow to collect her, Al-Mansour announced. Be ready. Your new life begins. The last chance. The sixth day, April 17th, dawned. Eleanor was in a state of controlled panic. She would not be a victim. Just 30 minutes before Al-Mansour was due, Aisha, the tall, stern aunt, rushed into the room. Her face was etched with terror. "You run now," she whispered urgently in broken English. Omar carrying on. Men talking. Big trouble coming. Run. Aisha, a low-level accomplice coerced into the scheme, had finally reached her breaking point. "Where?" Aisha pushed a tiny, ancient mobile phone into Eleanor's hand. "Call this number in 3 hours. My cousin. He will help you. Don't tell Omar." She pointed to the window bars, which Eleanor now saw had been skillfully and laboriously loosened on one side. "Go. Yalla. You must go now." Without hesitation, Eleanor squeezed through the gap and onto the adjacent flat roof. She scrambled down into a narrow, dusty alleyway, the muffled shouts of the returning men echoing from the house. She walked quickly for nearly 20 minutes until she hit a busy main highway. Totally lost, she saw a large, official-looking white vehicle pulled to the side of the road. It was marked with the distinctive seal of the U.S. Consulate General. "Help!" she screamed, running toward the van. "American, I've been kidnapped. Please help me." What Eleanor didn't know was that her son, Ethan, after not hearing from her for 5 days, had checked her Find My iPhone app. When the app showed her phone static in a remote, non-tourist town outside of Tingher, he immediately called the State Department. The U.S. Diplomatic Security Service, DSS, working with Moroccan authorities, had been on the ground for 2 days, tracking her electronic trail. Eleanor Vance's desperate, timely escape not only saved her life, but provided the immediate evidence needed to expose the entire Desert Rose tourism network. Karim Yusuf was captured a week later near the border, and Al-Mansour was arrested in Marrakesh. Eleanor was flown home to Seattle a week later. She was a survivor. She later worked with organizations fighting online predation, using her story as a powerful warning. "Loneliness is not a personal failure," she said in a lecture. "It is a human vulnerability, and predators, like Karim, are experts at weaponizing that vulnerability. The fantasy that is too perfect, the offer that is too generous, is always a trap." Aisha and her son were quietly granted asylum a year later, thanks to Eleanor's testimony. The investigation revealed the network had generated over $2.5 million in 5 years. Eleanor Vance's courage became the essential key that allowed law enforcement to dismantle a sophisticated, international criminal operation, turning a personal nightmare into a milestone in the global fight against human trafficking.